Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive, absolutely mind-blowing thought experiment. We're going to take the world exactly as you know it and just completely flip it on its head. So get comfortable, because you are definitely going to need a major perspective shift for this one.
Okay, let's just jump right in. I want you to imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You stretch, pour your morning coffee, look out the window, and everything seems perfectly normal. But then you check the news, and the headline isn't about politics or the economy. No, the staggering, unbelievable news is that our entire planet has actually started moving. Earth has literally broken its orbit and is now actively traveling and navigating through deep space.
Just think about the sheer shock and the incredible mystery of that realization. You step outside, look up at the sky, and you know that you aren't just standing on a piece of rock floating aimlessly around the sun anymore. You and the 8 billion other people on this planet have suddenly experienced the ultimate paradigm shift. You see, you're no longer just a resident of a town, a city, or a country. You are a crew member. Humanity is now traveling together on one single colossal vessel.
Section 1. Earth, our galactic spaceship.
This completely changes how we define our home. Earth is no longer just a planet in the traditional sense. It's redefined as a massive spacecraft carrying all known life. It is literally humanity's interstellar vessel. It's an active, traveling craft. We aren't just passengers along for a stationary ride anymore. We're aboard a ship with an actual destination.
Section 2. Powering the planet. So, how could something this massive actually happen? Let's break down the science fiction concepts required here. To turn a planet into a ship, we're talking about absolutely unprecedented technological leaps. Step 1, we'd have to develop things like planetary-scale fusion thrusters, or maybe harness the Earth's geothermal core. Then Step 2 involves using that advanced tech to physically build these giant engines right into the crust and mantle of the Earth itself. And finally, Step 3, firing those engines to generate enough thrust to break our orbit away from the Sun, allowing us to actively navigate the wider galaxy.
And all of that brings us to this really powerful number, 1. Because, building giant planetary engines and breaking the orbit of a planet, that isn't something one nation or one corporation can just do on its own. It would require the ultimate, complete, united effort of our entire species. We'd have to pool every single resource, every scientific mind, every ounce of labor. It essentially turns billions of divided individuals into one singular, united crew with a shared goal of survival and exploration.
Section 3. The first global changes.
Now, looking impartially at the immediate psychological fallout of an event like this, you get a wild contrast. On one hand, you'd have profound global confusion. There would be sheer panic. The ground is moving in a way it never has before. The stars in the night sky are slowly beginning to shift. Imagine looking up and realizing Orion has suddenly lost his belt. But right alongside that confusion, you'd also have unprecedented global excitement. The thrill of a totally new journey. The realization that we aren't trapped in our solar system anymore, but we're actually setting out to explore the unknown. And practically speaking, the logistical realities of this would be just staggering. Think about the infrastructural shifts required just to keep society functioning while the ground is literally moving through the cosmos. Scientists would be working around the clock, constantly monitoring our journey and trajectory. We would see massive changes in global transportation, too. Like, how do planes and ships navigate when the planet itself is generating its own forward momentum? And what about our satellites? We'd have to completely overhaul our communication networks to maintain the internet and communications for a planet that's no longer sitting still.
Section 4. Journeying through the stars.
Let's trace out the timeline here. For the first few months, our nights would actually be illuminated by passing familiar neighbors as we drift past the orbits of Mars, Jupiter, and the asteroid belt. Over the years, our sun would shrink into just another bright star in the background as we leave our solar system entirely behind. Fast forward a few decades, and humanity would be actively exploring brand new regions of the Milky Way galaxy. And over centuries, generations of humans would be born on this ship, discovering entirely unknown alien worlds right from the comfort of their home planet.
I really love this next point because it connects these massive, almost incomprehensible cosmic events directly back to your daily reality. Imagine stepping out onto your patio with your laptop. You're just answering emails, doing your regular remote work, while looking up and seeing massive, icy asteroids drifting right past the atmosphere. It definitely brings a whole new meaning to the phrase change of scenery, right?
Section 5. Humanity's new daily life. So what happens to our day-to-day?
Well, career paths would fundamentally change. Sure, we'd obviously still need traditional Earth jobs, doctors, chefs, teachers, all of that. But we'd also see an absolute explosion of new industries entirely dedicated to keeping our planetary ship running. Millions of people would now work in space travel logistics. We'd need entire generations of planetary engineers to maintain those giant Earth engines. And stellar navigation wouldn't just be a niche thing for a few astronauts anymore. It would be a major global industry ensuring we don't, accidentally crash into a rogue star.
The very fabric of our institutions would transform entirely. Education would immediately pivot, prioritizing space science, physics, and engineering right from a very young age. Global research funding would shift massively toward discovering new worlds, constantly scanning the horizon for resources and life. And society itself? Well, our old, imaginary borders would basically dissolve out of pure necessity, all in favor of a shared, highly united planetary mission.
It really boils down to this incredibly powerful idea. We are no longer divided nations on a rock. We are the united crew of the greatest ship ever built. Traveling through the infinite, dark, and, let's be honest, dangerous expanse of space just wouldn't allow for trivial divisions anymore. We'd be a crew, bound together by the hull of our atmosphere, completely reliant on one another for our very survival.
So, we've built the engines, we've united the crew, we've broken orbit, and the stars are quite literally flying past our skies. The only thing left to ask is this. Our ship is ready. Where should we sail first? Thanks for joining me for this thought experiment, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.